Hello, this is Malorian, and this will be a 2,500 point game. My Dwarves up against Warriors of Chaos. Alright, so I'm up against Warriors of Chaos again, but actually this is the player that got Best General at the last tournament. So it should be a pretty tough game. I know in all of our matchups he wins more against me than he loses, so I'm going to be up to a tough match here. But anyway, looking at my list, what I have starting on for this meeting engagement is I have the 2 organ guns, I have the 40 dwarf warriors with great weapons, there's a banner, my BSB in there with Master Runa Grommel, +1 strength, flaming attacks, and the Master Runa challenge. I got my Grudge Thor, which I get to reroll the scatter dice, +2 strength. You can't see, but in the far right corner I have a cannon that's flaming, but doesn't really matter. And I have the anvil here, which I have the Master Runa Balance, I had the Runa Spell Breaking, and my guess has a shield. Coming from off the board, I have 20 Miners with a Banner and a Champ with a Steam Drill. I have 40 Dwarf Warriors with shields, and there's a Musician and Banner in there. And yeah, oh sorry, I also have 30 Quarrelers with great weapons and Banner. So, you know, I had a lot of stuff that actually started in reserve, but for the most part, it actually isn't all that bad. In fact, what let me do is kind of make it look like this, that I have kind of a weakened flank on the left side, but in fact, I'm going to have a whole bunch of reinforcements coming in. For my opponent's side, he has 2 units of dogs on the left, then a chariot, a big unit of 12 knights here, and they're having, you know, the Marquezines, they have the blasted standard, so they're just frickin' hard to hurt. Then he has his level 4 Tazine Sorceress Lord on this crazy kind of disc that go around. This thing's so top heavy it's crazy, but it looks great. Then he has a whole bunch of the Dwarf Warriors with halberds, and they also have the Mark of Tzazinch, another chariot, Hell Cannon, and more wolves. And then coming off the board, he has another unit of warriors and another Hell Cannon. So anyway, looking at this game, I knew it was going to be pretty tough, but the big thing I knew here is that if I could really hit those knights right away with my war machines, I could score those points, finish them off with whatever reserves are coming on, and then my biggest worry will be these Chaos Warriors right in front of me. His magic doesn't really worry me too much just because I have a lot of anti-magic, but if I can just, you know, quickly blast the knights and then somehow deal with these Chaos Warriors in front of me, it should go fairly well. Alright, so I got first turn, he didn't steal it from me, and really what happens here, I have my Quarrelers and my Warriors coming in here in the left flank, so pretty much just filling in this side, and then I just go to town shooting up his units, and it really didn't go that well. I had a cannon that went through 5 ranks of knights there, so make him take a bunch of saves. I had an organ gun that rolled 10 shots on the knights, and after everything was said and done, I only killed 3. So that was, you know, he was just rolling like fire. And then I landed a Grudge Thor right in the middle of his Chaos Warriors there. And first of all, I didn't really force that many saves, but even after that, he just saved everything, you know, between the armor saves, and then when it went to the ward, he made 3 6+ ward saves, so it really didn't kill all that much, but I think I'm in a good position, and I used the anvil to hit the knights and slow them down. So his turn, his 1 Hell Cannon that was on the board kind of went crazy and just moved up, so no shooting for it. The rest of his units came on, and of course that 1 warrior unit at the very far back is not going to be doing very much. And everything else is kind of really rushed up, so his dogs are just getting in my face, and then the rest of his big units are coming on in. He tried to blast me with some magic with his 1 Sorcerer Lord that zipped off to the left flank, but I was able to stop everything, plus he miscast, and, well, I mean, he did get 1 flickering fire through with irresistible force, but that's pretty much it. So my turn too, and it went way better. Pretty much what happened is my miners came in, I set them up behind his little disc Sorcerer Lord there, so if he ran, he'd probably go off the board. He decided that running was still the best option, so after I sent the anvil to make them charge, it fled and went off the board, so there's a whole bunch of points for him gone there. Charged into his dogs there in the left. The picture's not updated yet, but they're actually going to be dead, of course. What happened here with the warriors I had charged a unit of dogs and he fled. He just meant just to slow me down. And then I noticed when I measured it that I'm actually was in the flank of the warriors here, right in front of me. So, it was fairly close. Like it was only a flank charge by a couple of millimeters on my base there. But, he had to concede that that was a flank charge. I pulled it off, got in there, and in the end, I only ended up winning by one, but he broke and I ran him down. So, going into this game, both of us, for not against each other, were pretty frustrated. So I was actually kind of expecting on his part for him to kind of give up at this point, but he wanted to keep on going. Had more shooting going into his knights, and at least now there's only 6 of them, so that's pretty good. But when they come in, it's gonna hurt. And here's just another picture I took where we forgot to do the one combat here before I had taken the picture, and it just again, just how well those miners worked out for me. I mean, if he would have kept the disc more central, that never would have happened. But that was just a huge boon to me right off the bat. So his turn 2, I used a Master Rune of Challenge to pull his knights into my warrior unit rather than going into the rear of my warriors with shields, and then he backs it up with the chariot and he sends the dogs into the one organ gun. Otherwise, he had a hell cannon that went crazy again and didn't get to shoot. The other one scattered. On the left, everything rallied. He had one chariot that's getting into position. His dogs and my organ gun whiffed. And then, he just kind of really cut into my warriors here. And I really expected to do a whole bunch of damage back, but I really didn't. I only managed to kill 2 of the knights on the left, and then I don't think I did any wounds whatsoever to the chariot. So, of course, I'm steadfast, but I really got to kill these things faster. So, my turn 3, I clear out all the rest of the dogs on the left just so it's clear and I can start working my way in. Some shooting did a couple of wounds to his chariot on the left, but not enough to kill it. In combat, his wolves, I think, now have killed one of my crew for my organ gun, but they're still holding out. And then I used the anvil to go and send my reformed warriors into, or what was that? No. The anvil had to be used on the miners to get them to charge. The warriors with the shield were able to charge on their own. And I thought with the combat res and the kills that I would be fine, but he just rolled like crazy, killed a whole bunch. In return, you can see that I killed 0 more knights. And when you worked at all the combat res, it was a tie. So that was a pretty big fail. And I think also this turn is when my cannon exploded as well, so it's gone. So his turn 3, and he's having some more counter charges here. He has one chariot that goes into my organ gun, and he also has his hell cannon that's going into the rear of my warriors. So I'm definitely going to be losing combat now, but hopefully Steadfast will keep me in, and hopefully I can kill these goddamn units here. So after everything is said and done, he destroyed the one organ gun, went on to my grudge thrower. Again, he's just killing me so quickly. At least I was able to kill a couple of knights now, so he's down just the 2. But I just, I can't seem to really finish him off. And it doesn't help that, of course, now I'm losing so many guys, I'm not getting any attacks. And, of course, my organ gun's still kind of hanging around there as well. My turn 4, my quarrelers try to come in and save the day. They move up and I try and anvil them into... I had to kind of choose between the knights and the hell cannon, and I knew that I should be able to deal with the knights with what I had there. It was the hell cannon. I didn't really have any to punch the beat, so I went for that, needed 8s, and I failed. Eventually in the combat, you can see I did nothing again. I'm getting chewed down even more, luckily still steadfast. My organ gun is now destroyed. He's now into my grudge thrower and it was destroyed. And all I could also do is then I had my one, what you might call it, my miners going after his other hell cannon. So then on his side of 4, he has the dogs that go into my flank and the warriors that go into my rear, and it's just over now. As a consolation, though, his one hell cannon explodes, so I guess that's something. And so then in combat, it looks like this. He's now into my anvil. Everything here is dead, and I have one warrior that made it away, and he's running, but he's just going to be running off the board next turn. My turn 5, I actually charge my Quarrelers into the flank of the Hell Cannon, did absolutely nothing, got my butt kicked, broke, and got ran down. So everything's going down so quickly. His turn 5, he sends the other chariot into my anvil, destroys it, and yeah, that's pretty much it now. It's done. So victory to the Warriors of Chaos in this game was just sad. As you know, I have the little picture here of my son to kind of show. You know, I've never had a game that had gone so far in my favor swing around to be such a crushing defeat. Uh, I still think that my overall plan was fairly solid. In the end, the big thing that killed me was just my opponent rolling so many dice and making all those saves. You know, really, when you look at it, with all the war machines going into those knights, there should have been a lot fewer get into combat. Once they're in combat, I should have killed them a lot faster, but just that's the way it went. When I got those warriors into the rear, combat res and all that should have been the end of it, but it didn't work out. Couldn't get my quarrelers to help out, failed to charge, and then he got there first and finished the job. So ooh, a big huge swing and a big loss for me, but hey, you know, it's still Warhammer and it's still fun, and you know, it's these weird swings that you remember for a long time. Something else I learned from this game, that just the way that I've always played before, is I always thought that since impact hits were allocated like shooting attacks, that they also counted as shooting attacks. So basically war machines would be toughness 5, but then I learned from this opponent that you actually, you know, it still counts as combat. It's just allocated like shooting, so you actually use the lower toughness. So that kind of hurt me a little bit here, but nothing really. I mean, once he got into my war machines, they were going to die anyway. But anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching. Bye.